Visión comunal, en contacto con las comunidades.
Venezuela in the news. News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Headlines. Supreme Court of Justice will assume powers of the Venezuelan parliament. OPEC will meet in Vienna at the end of this month with non-OPEC countries. Venezuela eliminated Mexico and goes to the semifinals of the Women's Football World Cup. A group of parliamentarians will request the Supreme Court of Justice to assume the powers of the Venezuelan parliament as long as the contempt of court held by the legislative power persists. The Venezuelan parliament entered in contempt, ignoring a ruling of the Supreme Court of Justice, which prohibited the incorporation and swearing in as deputies of 3 citizens who are being investigated for electoral fraud. Deputy Pedro Carreño informed that they will call on the Supreme Court to request for the Constitutional Chamber to be definitely the one to assume the commitments of the illegal parliament. The Supreme Court even approved that the budget of the nation for the year 2017 will be presented by the president of the country, Nicolás Maduro, to the Constitutional Chamber and not to the National Assembly. President Maduro will approve next Friday by decree of law the 2017 national budget. Yesterday in Istanbul, Qatar announced that the OPEC will seek at the end of this month an expansive agreement with oil-producing countries that are not members of the group to limit the extraction of crude oil. Qatar's Minister of Energy, Mohammed Saleh Al-Sada, said in a press conference that the organization agreed a technical meeting in Vienna and will send invitations to several key non-OPEC countries. The meeting in Vienna will be between the 28th and 29th of this month, a month away from the appointment scheduled in the Austrian capital, where they will determine the quota for each member of the OPEC to pump when the cuts of production agreed in Algeria enter into effect. The Russian Minister of Energy, Alexander Novak, confirmed that his country will turn to Vienna at the end of this month to create a roadmap and discuss the interaction procedures with the OPEC. The governments of Venezuela and Turkey analyzed the creation of a binational fund to finance several bilateral strategic projects. Caracas confirmed a meeting held between the Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and the board of directors of the Turkish bank Turk Exim Bank. In the meeting, they analyzed the technical details of the recent agreements of financial cooperation reached this week between both nations. Caracas and Ankara decided to expand their commercial relations and agreed several negotiations in the sectors of tourism, energy, and politics.
Venezuela in the news.
The Bolivarian Council of Business Integration announced yesterday that during the first trimester of 2017, there will be a substantial upturn of products for the construction sector in Venezuela. A spokesperson of the Construction Council stated that the incidents that limit the growth of that strategic sector will decrease 4% at the closing of this year. The organization projects for the economic upturn of the country to develop new strategies of investments in the area. The Bolivarian Council of Business Integration acknowledged that the private sector had a decline of 12% due to the high demand of the public sector. With 2 goals from forward Deina Castellanos, Venezuela beat Mexico 2-1 and moved forward to the semifinals of the Under-17 Women's Football World Cup. The Mexican team, which had arrived as leader of the Group A, got ahead at the minute 34 of the initial stage with a header by Kimberly Rodriguez. 1 minute after the Mexican goal, a work of genius by Deina Castellano tied the game for the Vino Tinto. Venezuela, with the tie, went ahead, and in the minute 39, Castellano achieved the definite 2-1 that took them to the next round. Castellano reached 5 goals in this World Cup. In semifinals, the Venezuelans will face the winning team of the match between South Korea and Ghana.
News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Headlines. Supreme Court of Justice will assume powers of the Venezuelan parliament. OPEC will meet in Vienna at the end of this month with non-OPEC countries. Venezuela eliminated Mexico and goes to the semifinals of the Women's Football World Cup.
Venezuela in the news. News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Visión comunal, en contacto con las comunidades.